Hey, y'all. So, if this is your first time seeing me, I'm gonna go ahead and apologize in advance now because this video is going to be off scripted and it's gonna be a bit of a rant. Just because, yeah, I feel like I'm going through in real time what people will tell you about living abroad. Um, and yeah, I want to vent about it. I want to vent about it. And that basically is the reality of culture shock and like how much being in a new environment can really just interfere or weigh in your everyday today. So yeah, if this is your first time seeing me, I'm glad you're here, but hopefully you watch another video because I feel like this one may not be on the same level of, I don't know, lighthearted, generally good and happy content that I usually create. But yeah, most of you all know that I am here in Bolivia. I'm currently in a city called Cochabamba. And overall, I want to say that I really have enjoyed being here. Well, let me rephrase. I think I deeply desire wanting to enjoy being here. And I think a part of me really does. Like, it's a really beautiful city. It very much reminds me of Medellin. I think I've talked about this before, but it's similar to Medellin, Colombia, in terms of like the city and the nature kind of coming together, intertwining as one. And I love that. I love cities, but I also really love the nature aspect, like being able to go outside. And there are so many different paths, like walkways. Like I can walk all over this city. It's very walkable. I can walk anywhere. The only reason I would take transportation is if I wanted to save on time. So yeah, you can walk anywhere, you can bike anywhere. It's beautiful outside. It's also in a valley like Medellin, so you see all the mountains around, and like I'm looking out my window now, so I'll just describe it to you guys. But like the white fluffy clouds are up top. It's a beautiful blue sky. Like there are literal rolling mountains, and they're gorgeous. They're not even like the bare bone mountains. Like they're green. They're green mountains, and then you see like all the trees that are interwoven with like different buildings, and it's really beautiful. It's beautiful here, and it also feels really nice. Like this place too, similar to Medellin, is called a the city of eternal spring, and it feels just like that. Right now it's about 70 degrees Fahrenheit and going on like 3 p.m. in the afternoon. It's a little bit weird because the weather does tend to warm up later in the day, so like right now is like the peak of how hot it will be today. And so around like 6 or 7, the sun will go down and then it'll start to cool down. Um, so that's interesting because then it doesn't really like start to warm up again until like early or later in the morning. But yeah, so the weather's really nice and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful city. And life is, I guess, fairly simple. Maybe, maybe not fairly simple. It's not as easy to integrate here as it has been in places like Medellin or where I was in Vietnam or, yeah, really a lot of other Latin places. I feel like I have had to kind of go the extra mile to figure certain things out. A big example being a SIM card, right? I don't have a US based phone, I don't have a US based phone plan anymore. I usually just get a temporary eSIM for wherever it is that I'm going since I do hop places so frequently. And then whatever destination or whatever country I get to, I will get a physical SIM card. I still have an iPhone 11 and I've been holding on to my 11 because it's the last iPhone that has a SIM card slot and it's for that reason. So I get a physical SIM card and that gives me a phone number in the country as well as I usually get some sort of like data plan. So that will give me internet. And so typically the process of getting a SIM card anywhere that I go is you go to the store, you buy the SIM card, you activate it, you put money on it, right? It's like really straightforward. And here, I would say that was the process, but it was like every step came with a caveat, or like there was something hidden that I had to figure out, or it was just like, it was more of like a puzzle challenge. And then I had to figure the challenge out before I could go to the next level. So like I went and I got the SIM card, and so they're like, "Oh, now that you have the SIM card, you have to actually go to a different store to activate it." So it wasn't something I could just activate through my phone because I am a foreigner and not from here. I had to actually go to a physical store. So I went to the store, um, and this was my fault, but I went and they're like, "Oh, you need your passport." And I knew I meant to actually bring my passport. I forgot. But sometimes people let you get away with a photo. I mean, it's just a SIM card, and like they just need the information off the passport. So ideally, whatever's on the photo, you just transfer it to whatever form you're filling out. But they were like, "Yeah, no, we can't do that." So I was like, "Okay, it's my bad. Cool, I'll come back tomorrow." Came back the next day with my passport, and they got me set up, supposedly. So the lady I'm working with, I'm basically just sitting there. She gets everything registered. There's not much conversation because again, she just needs to get the information on my passport and set up the line that I'm gonna have. So then she passes me the stuff back. She's like, "Okay, you're all set. Now you just need to put money on the card, essentially." So I was like, "Okay, how do I do that?" Thinking, there's a whole app for the phone service. I'm like, "Do I just do it in the app?" She's like, "Oh no, you go to this other window and you go do it down there." So I go down there, and of course, all of this is in Spanish. So there's always that element of like having to translate. And I've told you how my Spanish is a little rusty, so it was definitely putting me to the test. So I'm talking with the guy about like getting a plan, and essentially like the phone plans that they have here are set up in such a strange way. But instead of being able to just like, okay, I want to buy a month worth of, however many gigs or unlimited data and maybe a couple minutes, because I don't really use the phone like that to talk to anybody here, but it's good to have just in case. And so he's like explaining all these different things to me. There's not an option to just get what I need for like a month package. So already it's just like, okay, this is different. So I end up putting, I don't know, like $7 or something on some thing that he told me I could use to get data. And then now I go on the app. So all I did was go to the window to just put money on the SIM card. And now I go to the app to actually buy the package. Why that wouldn't all happened in one thing, I don't know. Anywho, I go to the app to look for a package, and I'm seeing options for like this many gigs for 3 days, or like you can get this set amount of gigs for 2 days, or like it was broken up in like the biggest amount of like gigabytes I could get at one time was like a week. And I'm like, well, I don't want to have to continuously keep going back to buy. Like, what is the package to just get it for a month? Like, and then it's not something I have to think about on a regular basis. Long story short, the phone plans here, at least with this company Tigo, which is the one that I'm using, I essentially have to like buy gigs either on a daily basis, or I can get unlimited for like a week at a time. It's not the end of the world, but it's annoying, and it's not something I've ever had to do in any other country. So that's just like one example of what I mean about things just being like an extra step, or just a little bit more complicated than what I'm used to. So I do think that is contributing to my struggle with wanting to say like, I love it here, like on paper, I think I love it here. Looking out into the scenery, and like being able to wake up to such a beautiful sight every day. It's like, yeah, I do love it here. Being able to walk places, yeah. But then there's other things where it's just like logistically getting around, finding certain things, figuring stuff out. It is just taking more out of me than I'm used to, especially the fact that I'm in Latin America, like because I've stayed in so many different countries in this region of the world. I don't know. I think I took it for granted that's I would just know how to do certain things. And yeah, I don't feel that way here. Um, Another thing is just culturally, it's a bit different here. Um, the people are nice, but it is very difficult. And this could be because of me, like where the accommodations that I'm in now, I do feel like I'm a little bit, I don't know if isolated is the right word because I'm definitely still within the city. But I'm not like in the heart of where I've noticed like people are out like hanging out and there's a lot more people and it just seems to be like more mm, communal outside, like, or more at least easier to like casually meet people, I guess. Um, but I haven't really had a lot of opportunities to like meet or interact with people, even when I do leave the house, because sometimes I do work inside, which is why I said inside my apartment, which is why I said it could partly be me. But yeah, even if I make attempts to go to go out, like I worked from a cafe yesterday, and I literally have had people like just staring at me, and I'm just like, hi, and then it's like they go back to whatever they're doing, but like I can feel you staring at me. Like, just speak or say something. Or like if you're curious or interested to know, usually that's when like conversations happen. And when I've been in other countries, it's like, oh, like, where are you from? Like what made you come here? How do you like Bolivia? I haven't gotten any of those conversations, whether it be like car rides or, just casually talking with like a waiter or seeing people, like I said, like at a cafe. Like they're not very I guess you would call that like outgoing or into small talk or just really interested into getting to know foreigners, which there's not a lot of foreigners here. So like, and I'm not saying that they have to be or that they should be. I think I'm just again coming from the perspective of having gone to a lot of Latin American countries, and like in Colombia, I would have 5 new friends by now. Because people just come up and talk to you, or like they'll just carry on conversation with you. Like they love to talk and engage, and it's very easy to maybe not meet like your best friend, just being out, but it is very easy to like meet people and at least learn a little bit more about the people that are here. So there's been that. It's not that the people are standoffish, but I do think they're a lot more reserved than what I'm accustomed to. And then pair that with the fact that there, like I mentioned, there's not a lot of foreigners here. So there's not a lot of immigrants like living here. And there is a Facebook group specifically for people living in Cochabamba. And so I was like, well, I haven't really been able to like interact or meet any locals. So let me try reaching out in this group and, seeing if maybe I'm just not looking in the right places. I put a post in there like, hey, how's everyone doing? Like I'm here in Cochabamba for the next month. Um, Curious if anyone knows where I can like find things like language exchanges or like movement, what I would consider like movement clubs. So like I mentioned like people that might like doing calisthenics or going hiking. Y'all, I don't even like hiking, but like desperation is calling. So it's like we're near a lot of mountains. I would assume a lot of people hike, right? So I was like hiking, cycling, calisthenics, Pilates, anything. Is there anywhere that I can find these groups? And then I was like, even like church communities, like there's I think a pretty large like Christian community out here too. So I'm just looking for community. I'm looking for a way to connect, whether it be with locals or like anybody in this group, anyone interested in like being friends, and I get some social interaction. Boy, was it crickets. That post got a few crickets. I'm not gonna lie. A couple people liked it, but like one girl interacted with it, and she mentioned a group that apparently gives like language classes, but essentially like I would need to pay to like it looks like pay to participate and stuff. And I was like, great. I kind of really want what I was talking about, but all right. I was asking for Spanish lessons, ideally like a language exchange because it's a lot more casual. I'm not committing or like adding extra work to my plate. It's kind of like when I can do it, I can go and do it. So there's that. I am really heavily missing community being out here, and it hasn't even been a full month yet. But because I am coming here from Vietnam, and I had community, and I feel like it was like natural community that just happened not only organically but somewhat quickly. Like it fell into place, and like here I'm having to go out of my way to try and get it, and then still not getting it. So that is like, meh. And then aside from community, when I speak of culture, I talked about, them being a little bit more reserved. But this week specifically, this week specifically, is kind of what prompted this video. Honestly, I just went for a walk outside, and that's really what sparked this video idea because I realized just how irritated I was walking outside. Um, I was not aware that there is a carnival happening this week. Honestly, I think it goes on for 2 weeks, is what someone mentioned to me, but I may not have fully understood him, so it might just be on the weekends. But essentially, it's carnival. They come together. It's a lot of like traditional dances and like street parades. I don't know if you can hear it on this video, but there are like people like playing music outside literally right now. And that is all fine and dandy. I'm here for the culture. I saw a parade in Santa Cruz and I really enjoyed that. I was like, oh, this is nice. This is hype. My thing is, a part of this celebration, a part of the festivities, um, is like kind of like an aspect of Songkran, I think it's called, in Thailand, where like everyone does a huge water fight for, I don't know how long theirs lasts, but like everybody in the city is like throwing water balloons. They got water guns. They are like literally wetting anyone and everyone on site. And I get the fun, that's all fine and dandy, but your girl just spent all day Saturday doing her hair. I don't know if y'all can tell, but fresh retwist here. And this is where the culture shock comes into play because there are certain places where it's understood, this black girl don't want her hair wet. You feel me? Just because you weren't with me in the trenches when I was doing this. And baby, it was the trenches. And it took a long time. And it's like, yes, I'm natural. Yes, my hair is locked, but like, I don't want to have to deal with what happens after my hair gets wet this early when I was just dealing with it, I want this retwist to at least last me a good 2-3 weeks before I have to start, figuring stuff out and like it being more of a process for me to get ready. So well, I know this is something that's minimal. To me right now, it's big, especially because I'm already dealing with all these other new things, trying to adjust to being in this new environment. And yeah, I woke up on Sunday because I did my hair all day Saturday. I woke up on Sunday and I was like, I'm going to get some work done because I didn't do anything on Saturday. I packed up my computer. Me and my little fresh retwist went outside. I told her how I love walking places. I have no problem walking. But I think I got a ride over to the cafe that I went to go work from. And that's when I realized, like, I'm seeing people in all these costumes, people getting ready. And I was like, oh, it must, festivities about to pop up. Must be kind of some kind of carnival. I asked the guy on the moto, like, what's going on. And that's when he told me that it will be like, it's carnival and it might be like this weekend and then next weekend people doing stuff. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm in the cafe, get work done, whatever. I leave and I'm walking to go to this other place because I want to grab dinner before I go home. I'm like, cool, I'll get some steps in. Like it's like maybe a 20-30 minute walk. And I make it about halfway and I'm seeing people post it up, balloons stacked up and ready, guns out, buckets of water. And I'm like, oh no. Not only do I not want to get my hair wet, I have my computer with me. Like, I get y'all are having all funs and games, but no, I like, please do not pour water on me. And so basically, I'm like stealthily moving through the city, trying to avoid people pouring water on me, shooting me with water guns, all the things. And it's not just water guns, they also have like these cans of foam that they spray. So like it's weird, but like they basically spray it and it just imagine someone like covered in like white bubbles or something. But yeah, so I'm trying to avoid all of that and literally like begging for my life as I'm walking. Like this one guy comes up to me because like they see me being standoffish. Like I'm making it very clear, like I don't want to participate. I don't want to get wet. I'm glad y'all are having fun, but let's keep it over there. And so I'm walking and this guy like comes up and he's like, con calma, like lifting up a bucket of water to pour over my head. And I'm like, no, no, tengo computadora, por favor, no, 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 like begging, like, please, I have my computer, please do not wet me. And it wasn't until like I said computer, like screamed it like 3 times, and he's like, okay, okay. But like basic, first off, he's like, we'll just do it slowly. We'll just do it slowly. No, I don't want to get wet. But also, you're gonna go for my head, all the places on the body. That's what you're choosing. This is what I mean by the cultural differences. Because why? Why not just splash it on my legs or like aim for I don't anywhere else, but you go directly from my head. We are not the same. We're not the same. We are not the same. And had I known, I just would not have retwisted my hair on Saturday. And I would have been like more open to like, okay, fun games. Yeah, carnival. But I'm just not. I'm not. I'm not here for it. And I don't want to get wet. And I'm still getting wet. Regardless, like anytime I go outside, whether I'm taking a moto, whether I'm walking, like there's always people posted up on the corner ready with spray guns. Or like people will do drive-bys out of their car. I'm telling y'all it's next level. It's next level only because I was not mentally prepared for this. And I didn't know to expect this. But there's just no safety word. There's nobody is safe here, including me. If anything, I'm probably more of a target because they're like, oh, look at this person we don't know. This person we would never on a normal basis talk to, but today is a day to spray her down with water. Child. So I told y'all this was gonna be a rant. I'm sorry. I had to get it off my chest. But I'm getting it off my chest not only for me, but I feel like this is a prime example of what people talk about when they say it's not always comfortable to move abroad. Like on one hand, I am enjoying being here. But on the other hand, it's not always comfortable and some days are just not as great as others. And it can be like a little frustrating and annoying just having to deal with figuring out what I feel like are basic conveniences or basic everyday things and navigating just a different culture. It can be a shock. And this is exactly it playing out in real time. But yeah, that is it. I really don't want this video to be too much any much longer, too much longer, longer than it already is. So I will end it here, but I don't even know what to leave y'all with. If you have any questions about Bolivia, let me know because I do plan to do a video about my time being here on a different day, obviously, but also when I've been here a bit longer, because I'm barely making it here just a month, and I do think I need to experience a bit more first. And I do plan to visit another city, and I still have to go to the Salt Flats, so there is more to see. But if you have any questions or just curious about what it has been like or what it's like living here in Bolivia, or even more specifically in Cochabamba, let me know down in the comments below. And if you are interested in more resources and content and just overall info about living abroad, feel free to come and join my free Facebook community called the Women Digital Nomads. Yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.